Welcome back to the show, Reds. This is the morning after the night before. Quick match reaction here and player ratings for you. Don't know what you thought about last night. We did kind of predict on the preview it would be a difficult enough night. It wouldn't be that easy, and that if we were anyway complacent, we would make hard work of it. But certainly safe to say in the last couple of weeks we've been creating a little bit of drama for ourselves that's not needed by misfiring in front of goal and not being clinical enough in the final third. Interesting match last night on a number of levels. I suppose one way you could look at it is, yeah, we're through to the quarterfinals, so it's job done. But there was a complacency last night, and some would say maybe a tad bit of arrogance in the way that we went out there and we thought that Inter Milan would just kind of roll over at 2-0 and that we would have our way. And it was a kind of a weird match the way it unfolded. I mean, the first 30 minutes, we didn't seem to go at it the way I thought we would, that we would try and maybe kill off the game with a couple of early goals and break their will. And maybe we'd be able to ring in some changes and push on and look towards the Brighton game at the weekend. But it didn't evolve that way. The first 30 minutes, we were lackluster. We didn't play the ball around the way we normally do. Our two wingers in Robbo and Trent were kind of non-existent, really, in terms of attacking. And we let Inter Milan come into the game somewhat in terms of the midfield. Insofar as our play was a little bit sloppy, a little bit all over the place. And we created that good chance, obviously, Matip with the header off the bar in the 30th minute. The 30th minute. But it was a tense enough night, and it's a lot of this tension, I think, and a lot of this anxiety is creeping in because the expectation of this talk of this quadruple and that's going on and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And I suppose the fear is you end up with just the Carabao Cup and you think, terrible. You're fighting on all four fronts and you deliver one. And safe to say, as we go deeper into this season, I mean, the quarterfinals will pose a much more significant threat than Inter Milan. Let's be honest, where Liverpool are at the moment and where Inter Milan are at the moment are poles apart in terms of quality and in terms of stature. And I know Inter Milan are the current Italian champions, but we know how that league over the last few years has been devaluing, and we've seen it in the way we played them over there. We went about our business. Although we made it hard work and they did have chances over there, we ran out 2-0 winners. But we've seen what we did to AC Milan as well in the group stages. So it's safe to say we should have been on it last night. But the reality is the result getting through to the quarterfinal is the most important thing. And it was summed up, and we'll get on to Mo Salah's post-match interview, which I thought was very interesting on a number of levels. But yeah, we hit the woodwork 3 times, you know, and on another night it could be 4-1. The Diaz chance was an absolute gilt-edged chance. I'm sure he was walking off the pitch last night absolutely sick he didn't bury that. And what a block by Arturo Vidal. And let's talk about Arturo Vidal. This is a guy who's been around a long time now, you know, and looked way off the pace in the San Siro game. But our own complacency and allow him to bully us a little bit on the pitch made him look like Prime Pirlo against us, really, didn't it? Because he was arguably one of their men of the match. I thought Brozovic was very, very good as well. I thought they had a couple of outstanding performers there last night. Outstanding insofar as the way the game unfolded, but outstanding insofar as the way we allowed them to be outstanding. We didn't impose ourselves on the game at any stage. And it looked like we wanted to just sort of ghost through this game and knock another one off the list, get it out of the way and move on to the Brighton game. And that's all well and good. But we were surrendering possession at times, especially in the second half. They were boiled. Obviously, we know how dangerous Lautaro Martinez is. A number of Premier League sides have looked at him. Arsenal were digging cash up out of the ground to try and sign him last season. And I fundamentally believe the only reason he didn't end up in the Premier League, and I think he might this season, this summer, is because of the sale of Lukaku. It's just an interesting dynamic on this one because it's just we've been going along winning 12 on the bounce, so strong at Anfield. And it would be nice to continue that form. But I mean, at some stage, we're going to lose. And I suppose if you're going to lose a game, and I know it's disappointing for the fans that were there last night, and fans would have paid a lot of money for those tickets as well. Champions League night at Anfield. They're not cheap by any means for travelling fans, not season ticket holders. But if you were going to lose a game, that would be kind of the game you'd want to lose in terms of it doesn't impact on your season. It breaks your momentum a little bit, but it doesn't impact on your season insofar as you're not out of the Champions League. You're not out of the FA Cup. You haven't surrendered the league title to Man City. So it's a wake-up call. And that wake-up call has been coming now for a few weeks in terms of we gave up a lot of opportunities potentially to Inter Milan when we were over there in the San Siro. And we also gave up a lot of opportunities to West Ham at the weekend. And we did say on the match reaction for the weekend one that if a better quality of player was in that Lanzini position, he might bang it away. And that's what happened last night. If you look at the goal, fabulous goal and an unbelievable strike. Let's not take away from the player and from the strike, but let's talk about the build up to it. First of all, you have Joel Matip with probably the worst pass, the worst ball up the line that you'll ever see, straight to the opposition. Comes back in, breaks the Lautaro Martinez. He comes in, goes into towards the edge of the box and stuff like that. You have Van Dijk standing off and we've seen a bit of this season as well. And let's not take away from this. Without a doubt, Van Dijk is probably the best defender in the world. So let's not hold it over him that much. But you go out there and you deal with that. You don't turn around and go, yeah, go have a pop because I know my goalkeeper is the best goalkeeper in the world and you're not going to beat him from there. Well, guess what? Wake up. He did beat him from there and we went 1-0 down. And that's the reality of that. You know, you go out there and you do your job and you stand up to that and you block it and you don't let that shot come in. You don't stand off that showing him aside and say, yeah, go ahead and have a crack. That's not the way we do things. That's ridiculous. And he should have potentially never got that shot away. And then if he does happen to get the shot away, then you hope that Alisson deals with it. But it was an unbelievable strike. But in the same respect, we have to do much better in that situation. We can't be giving up those kind of opportunities. And in that position, they are opportunities against better teams in the latter stages of this competition. Let's be honest about it. If we draw, you seen what Bayern Munich did last night to Salzburg. They drew in the away leg. They come to the home leg and they smashed them up 7-1. They go out and they absolutely put on a clinic. That's what should happen. That's kind of what should have happened last night. We should have been going out there, put on a clinic, get the boys back to scoring ways. We've been misfiring up front, get a few goals under our belts, build on the confidence, move on to the Brighton game. But we make hard work of it. So it was a bit disappointing to give that goal away. And especially with the unbeaten run we've had at Anfield and Van Dijk with the unbeaten run he's had at Anfield. He's been unbeaten, I think, in every game he's played in at Anfield. So that's now gone as well. You might be able to hold it for the Premier League or whatever it is, but we're all about breaking records, but not the way last night. Then you look in that second half, the way we were getting shoved off the ball, Salah getting shoved off the ball, you know, Milan roughing us up, getting a bit physical about things, you know what I mean? But we have to talk about the sending off, and there's been a lot of information going out about the sending off. First of all, without a shadow of a doubt, the tackle he made on Thiago high at the knee was a red card. And if it was in the Premier League, VAR would review it, would be a red card. And it should have been a red card. So he should have been gone way before he went. The second tackle, the one on Fabinho, was the one where he got the ball and he followed through. And I think momentum brings you through. And the way he clipped him on the ankle, it looked a bit nasty, like as if the studs had been turned up a little bit. And look, let's be honest about this. Alexis Sanchez is a master at this type of stuff. His reputation precedes him at times as being a bit of a hothead and stuff like that. So he clipped Fabinho and he got the second yellow. And some would say maybe at the time of the game that was a bit harsh. They had just scored and stuff like that. And they were on the ascendancy at that stage. They were getting stuck in. They were battling for everything. They were buoyed by the goal. And they were pushing on and may have potentially got an equaliser, who knows. But he got sent off. And once he got sent off, that kind of killed the game somewhat in terms of they then had to dig in. We just held on to possession the way we do. And ran the game out, basically created one or two openings on the Diaz chance, obviously Salah as well, but the second chance off the post. But really, that sending off was pivotal in the game, I think. And it was just for us, it was just a complacency, a lackluster about us. Um, passing was kind of a bit short. It wasn't as crisp as it should be. You've Allison there at the back in the last 10 minutes, and he's playing the ball across the 18-yard line and close to being intercepted and all. And there's just doing stuff that's totally our characters first. Short passing, bullied in possession, Keita bullied in possession, and then kicking out, petulant about it kind of a little bit. And, even up front, Mo Salah being knocked off the ball. I know he skipped through Bastoni there to give him the yellow and stuff like that, and he had to trip him and stuff like that. But he just doesn't look, he looks tired. He looks like he needs time out. It looks like between himself and Mane, it looks like the AFCON run is catching up on them finally. And they look tired. They look like everything. You see Mane in possession, and it's sloppy, and it's he's running into trouble. He's not doing the usual trickery and dropping the shoulder and going by guys. Salah's trying to go by guys, and he looks like he's tired. It's lethargic. He's not ghosting by guys the way he was. It just seems tired, and it's probably a number of things. It's probably physical and mental fatigue for those boys because they've had a long, hard season. Um, and mentally, the pressure on them at the moment in terms of the title race, and we win, Man City win, we win, Man City win, they win, we win. Trying to keep the pressure of trying to keep at that Man City side must be unbelievably draining at times. Um, not even to say that obviously we're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League and we're also in the FA Cup with an away tie coming up to Forest. But I just think I think we need to go a little bit cleverer about our business in terms of when we get into that final third. Like even saying it when Robbo broke through with the ball that time, square ball on, I think for Salah, and he squares it, and I think either Skriniar or Bastoni, one of them intercepted. It was just such a lazy pass into the box. You know what I mean? Get your head up, boy, and put the ball into the middle of the box and let's kill the game off. Why are we putting ourselves through this drama and this anxiety and this trouble when we clearly have opportunities on the plate? Salah hitting the post twice from those positions. So unlucky. Matip with the header off the bar. So unlucky. But look, we keep on talking about chances created, constantly talking about chances created. Look, it's chances converted. That's where we need to be at. And those three boys up front, a combination of whatever it is of the 6 or 7, they need to start taking their chances. They need to start putting the ball on the back of the net. And that midfield needs to be more progressive. There needs to be a bit more progression in that midfield and a bit more chiming in with the goals that we've been calling for all season. And at times it has happened. I mean, we had 8 corners last night. And with the exception of Matip's chance off the bar, what did we really create off the 8 corners? We're slinging balls in there, hoping that Van Dijk or Matip or Konate or whoever it is gets on the end of them. We need to be a bit more clever. We're better than that. We're Liverpool. We're better than that. We've got fabulous ball players in the likes of Trent and the likes of Robbo and stuff like that. Do something a bit more clever. Take a short corner sometimes. Take it, come up with something on the training ground like a set piece or something like that gives us something different. Everyone knows we're going to sling the ball into Van Dijk and into Matip and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I just think looking at the volume of corners that we're creating now in matches, I just don't think we're reaping the rewards off them. And I think we need to get a bit more clever in our set pieces and stuff like that. But that, I mean, all that taken into account, let's talk about Salah's post-match interview, which I thought was brilliant, and a lot of people were saying that he was smiling and that he was happy and he's in the quarterfinals. He's not happy. He knows that was a poor performance last night. Those smiles are smiles of relief that we're through to the quarterfinals. They're not smiles of, happiness. He said it himself. You know what I mean? He turned around and he said, maybe losing like this where it doesn't impact us is the way that it should happen. And maybe we need to go on another run now. Maybe we needed this loss to realize where we were at and stuff like that. And now we can go and look at this game and we can analyze it and learn from it and move on and stuff like that. So he was brutally honest in his assessment, you know what I mean? And then you look at Klopp's post-match interview And you could see like there's a relief there that you're through to the quarterfinals, because you're out of Champions League football then for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever it is. You can relax, you can see the draw, see who you get in the quarters and plan for that and stuff like that. But you could see Klopp was grinding his teeth. He wasn't happy with that performance at all. I'm sure he went into halftime asking the boys, what the hell are they at and stuff like that. And he's not going to be happy losing regardless. This is a man who's driven by ambition and winning and breaking records and stuff like that. That man doesn't want to lose a friendly. They're alone lose to Inter Milan and Anfield. Fortress Anfield, these European nights under the lights, he wouldn't have been happy at all. And I'm sure that team would have got a roasting at the end of both halves, that he wasn't happy at all, regardless of what's being said in front of the camera. But I thought Salah's one was interesting, because it was like as if, it was kind of a relief that they felt that maybe one of these games was kind of coming. And there was maybe a sense of relief that maybe it was this one and it wasn't Brighton or it wasn't Nottingham Forest in the cup or something like that. You know what I mean? But we're gonna have to up it a bit more. We're gonna have to back up into a level. Like we're playing fantastic stuff, but we're gonna have to up it into a level there where there's reward at the end of all the hard work in terms of that final third. And those boys need to find their shooting boots again, because they're way off where they should be for the amount of chances that we're creating. Yeah, that all being said, look, we're not going to be too harsh on them. At the end of the day, we're through to the quarterfinal draw. But that performance for me was just, and I know you look at the performance and you're looking shots 12-6 and stuff like that, but we 12 shots, we hit the bar, we hit the post twice. Diaz had a fantastic chance, but if you look at possession, 61-39. 61-39 didn't tell the tale of the tape off the match at all. At times we were like a boxer on the ropes, and then corners 8-2. And literally out of 8 corners, what did we create? One good one where Matip made connection and hit the bar. We need to be better than that. We need to be more powerful in corners and stuff like that. The likes of Matip going up there, Van Dijk, Fabinho, players like that going in there. They've all the tools to go in there and do the business. And we just need to be more prolific, I think, in terms of corners and stuff like that. Let's get into these ratings anyway, because it's again, doing the ratings on this, because the work was really done in the first leg of this. The ratings in the second leg are kind of really immaterial, really. I mean, the boys know they didn't play well last night. They know it themselves. They know it was a job done, but they didn't play well. They were ghosting through it at times, Start with Alisson. Give Alisson a 7. I don't think he could have done a whole lot really for the goal that was scored. But I'd like to see him be a bit cleverer with his footwork at times, especially in that last 10 minutes. His own footwork was creating a sense of nervousness, I think, if anyone watched the game. Trent, I gave a 6 to. I think he's kind of dropped off a little bit. And I thought in the second half, at times down along that wing, I thought he was being bullied at times. And at times he was more looking for protection. I thought the passing looked a bit lethargic and a bit forced. It wasn't the natural way of moving. And if you look at himself and Salah, it was very orchestrated. It looked like it was hard work last night, that it wasn't the two boys on their natural way. So I gave him a 6. Matip, I gave a 6 too. Unlucky with the cross that hit the bar. He could have scored. But I think that pass down the line that time that put us in trouble for the Martinez goal. I think that's shocking from a centre back at that level. That just shouldn't happen. Van Dijk, I gave a 6 to as well. I think he could have done better for the goal as well. I think you get out there and you close it down, you put your body on the line. I don't think you show him so he can go, yeah, go test my keeper. And he tested the keeper. So I think he could have done a little bit better. Robbo, I gave a 6 to. Just wasn't really on himself. The first half an hour, the two boys, both on wings, were anonymous. I thought they could have done better, and they're so pivotal to our attack as well. So like they need to show up, and we need those two boys down the wing really set the scene for what the match is going to be. If they pick up the ball early and they go at it, it kind of sets the scene that we're going to be on the front foot and we're going to dictate the game. So could have done better. That ball into the box, the tiredness of that pass was shocking. It was just, that should be a simple square ball in there. Goal, game over, no drama, no anxiety, no nothing, no nervousness in the stands. That nervousness in the stands on Anfield, above all other stadiums, when there's a nervousness there, it just pours out onto the pitch, doesn't it? And especially if you're in the ground, you'll feel it. Fabinho, I give a 6-2 as well. I thought he could have done a better job in midfield. I think he was solid as he normally is, but I think he just could have given a bit more. I think at times that midfield bullied us, and he needs to be the man who goes in there and sorts out that bullying when it's happening and takes control of that midfield. Thiago, I give a 6-2 as well. I just don't think he's he's back off that injury, and we were protecting him coming back in to use him and stuff like that. But he just didn't seem himself last night. He struggled at times. Jones also a 6-2. I think he was a little bit more progressive at times. But again, sometimes when you pop him into these big games, he doesn't deliver that forward think Curtis Jones that you think. So I give him a 6. Sometimes his reflection of his rating is sometimes a reflection of what's ahead of him and stuff like that, more so than what he's trying to do himself. Mo Salah gave a 6-2. I know he was unlucky. He hit the bar twice, or hit the post twice. But he just seemed he just seems tired. He's putting in a shift. He's working hard. He's trying to make things happen. But a lot of it at times last night, he was kind of running down corridors, really, wasn't he? And it was like, you kind of never felt. I don't think I felt, even when he was hitting the post, I kind of felt it's going to be one of these nights. So hopefully he'll pick it up maybe for the Brighton game or something like that. Mane again a 6, and it's not weird that these two boys are both struggling kind of somewhat at the same time, because they both had really long AFCON tournaments. Both of them with heavy pressure on them from their countries, because they're the two leaders in their countries, and they carry the weight of the country. And look, the AFCON went all the way. It couldn't go any further than it did penalties. And I just think the two boys, you look at Mane last night, he's so sloppy at times on the ball. And, then you get into this thing where if it's not going your way, similar to what we've seen with West Ham, if it's not going your way, then we start doing stupid things that's out of character for us, shooting from nowhere, and look the amount of shots we have at the moment that get blocked and stuff like that. Because we're shooting from distance, because we can't figure out this conundrum, and it's something to do with when they play a back three as well. When we go up against a back three, we're gonna need to figure that out, because we can't seem to figure it out, and that's when we struggle. Jota, I gave a 5 to. He's kind of been a little bit off the boil in terms of when he's come on and stuff like that. He is coming back off an injury, but we've seen it when he's come on a couple of times now. He's kind of struggled to make an impact on the game. And again, remember, we're talking about judging these guys based on a certain level. So, these boys working in a 6 and a 5 in terms of ratings. It's not god awful. We could sit here on Saturday afternoon after the Brighton game giving them all 8s. You know what I mean? And it's just same as last night. We could turn around and go, well, look, it could have been 4-1, and it could have been 4-1, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? And it could have been 4-2 against West Ham, and it wasn't. So, and eventually what happens is, it's all well and good last night saying, yeah, we're through to the quarterfinals and that's grand. But this is a very different conversation if this is Brighton on Saturday, or if it's not for us next week, or whatever it is, or if it's the first leg of the quarterfinal in the Champions League and not the second leg. You know what I mean? We got to be careful about this. We're gassing out on this quadruple and all that kind of stuff. We need to calm it down a little bit and get back to the basics. And the basics is putting the ball in the back of the net. On the subs, hard to really judge. I think Hendo came on and he did a better job of getting stuck in there. Jesus, that tackle that he came across, the Perisic one out on the wing, he's lucky he didn't make contact, because if he made contact, he could have been seen as marching orders, because he absolutely nearly went through him with his leg. But it's nice to see someone who was in there battling. Keita came on as well, and Keita's kind of that conundrum as well, where he's kind of like, he's kind of either sublime or he's disappointing, but he's rarely average. And he just, again, he didn't really create an impact on the game, and you could see he was getting frustrated in the game as well. He was trying to do things that couldn't make it happen. Diaz, I gave a 6-2 as well. I think he wasn't on that long really, but when he came on, he made an effort. He brought a different energy to it and gave us an outlet there on that left hand side that was kind of missing when Mane was on. And of course, he had that golden chance in the box, except he had to take too many touches or something like that instead of just banging it. And so you could see it in him when it didn't go in. And what a block for Vidal. What a block. I mean, it's as good a defensive block as you'll see from a guy like this. And how it didn't even block and cannon in off him and go, oh, how it went over the bar, I do not know. It was like, reminded me of Shades of Shevchenko's chance in 2005 when the ball went over. Remember, he had that chance, and whatever way it happened between Dudek and whoever else, the ball just went over the bar and it just didn't go in the back of the net. It was just crazy how it didn't go in. And that would have just been the icing on the cake in terms of, getting through to the quarters, but getting through with a draw and not a defeat and stuff like that. But yeah, this has been your player ratings. That's what I thought about it. Let us know your comments. Let us know what you thought about last night. Look, it's job done into the quarterfinals. But I would have liked it to be done in a more professional kind of manner, if you like, rather than us, giving away, a win to the likes of Inter Milan coming to Anfield. It never tastes nice. But look, we knew what we had to do. And we'll push on. We will be back later in the week, of course, Reds, with a preview for the Brighton game. But of course, drop your thoughts into the comments. Let us know your player ratings. Let us know what you thought about last night. Some people were gassing us saying, oh, we were in total control and all this kind of thing. Some people were saying that, was it a red card? Should have been a red card? I've given you my thoughts on that. Let us know your thoughts on the red card. As always, if you're enjoying the content and stuff like that, head over, subscribe to the channel. We're dropping content on a daily basis. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification as well to be notified when we do upload content. And we will talk to you again real soon, Reds. Let's keep on going. Let's push on now for this Brighton game. Let's keep the title race going and see where this season takes us. Cheers.